tonight. In our knowledge is power discussion tonight. Now, I'll bring them on in a couple of minutes, give everyone a chance to get logged in. You guys know how I do. Don't act surprised. You know how I do. So I got to give everyone an opportunity to get logged in. I want you guys to be engaged. If you guys have any questions to ask this young man, please ask the questions that you would like. We'll try to keep him involved in this. I want to make sure that you're able to gain some knowledge from this. That's the whole purpose of these sessions of knowledge is power. So it is 8:02. We're going to go 2 more minutes and then we're going to get going. We are going to get going for tonight's session. This knowledge is power reloaded. If you are just getting logged in, make sure you click that share button. Make sure you click the share button. I love doing this on the phone.
Yeah, I see that.
This is good. We are going to have a good conversation tonight, though. I have someone brings a whole wealth of knowledge on different type of industries, on life experiences, and it's one thing that I learned throughout my journeys is if you're able to take the knowledge from someone and don't walk down that path where they made mistakes and errors, and you're able to avoid those challenges and those obstacles, then it helps you to achieve your goals faster, because that one bump in the road that you may hit may set you back a year or 2 years. But if you're able to avoid that, and if you're able to avoid several of those bumps throughout your life, then just imagine how fast you could expedite getting to your goals. We got 1 more minute and we are going to get going. 1 more minute, guys, and we are going to get going on tonight's knowledge is power, the road to success. And we are going to keep these going because I want to make sure that whatever your goals are, whatever your passions in life, that you understand how to achieve them. I was reading today on something where it said that someone can have information, and people do. You could go on Google and get information. Getting information is easy, especially in today's society. But you can have all the information in the world, but if you do not know how to apply that information effectively, it means nothing. Remember that. Information is out there. Any of you guys with cell phones, computers, you can get the information. It's not about just having information, but knowing how to implement that into your day-to-day life and to use it towards your goals. So we are going to get ready to get going. I am going to flip this around. Guys, click that share button. Click the share button. Anyone who is not clicking the share button, I have a group of people driving around right now. I'm going to start calling out names, and they will be at your house, knocking on your door, telling you to click the share button. Don't be one of those persons, because they're going to be live too with their phones. All right, so let me turn this around, and we are going to get going, guys. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, yeah. Look who we have. Look who we have in the building, guys. Look, he's excited. He's excited.
What's going on? How y'all doing out there?
All right. So, thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us this evening for tonight's session of Knowledge is Power, the Road to Success. Tonight, we are going to talk about facing your challenges and fears. So, everybody have their passions in life. Everyone has their goals. But just as I was talking about, having the information and knowing how to apply that information to achieve your goals, could save you time. It could save you money. Some of the mistakes that people make throughout their lives, if you're able to avoid those type of mistakes to help you elevate to where you're trying to get to, you can move through faster in life. For those of you guys who are just getting logged in on Facebook, make sure you click that share button. Make sure you click that like button. Let me see you guys hashtag YMA Nation too. Don't forget YouTube comment section, hashtag YMA Nation, guys. That's what we're doing. We are back. We are back. YMA Nation. Knowledge is power reloaded. So I am going to introduce our guest tonight. We have this young man, Kevin Smith. Very, very knowledgeable man in so many areas of business and life in general. This guy, I could tell you just on some of the conversations that we have had, some of the meetings that we have had, the knowledge that he have gained throughout his life, the ups and downs, the bumps, and to be able to share that information with you guys is priceless. If you are able to avoid those bumps in life, you will save money, you will save time. And those things, that time you cannot get back. And sometimes that bump in the road becomes a pothole that you cannot recover from. So it's always best to learn to avoid those type of mistakes in your life and just to become better. Whether you made the mistakes or not, just having that information and being able to share that information with others, priceless. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah.
How y'all doing out there?
Good. So we're going to get into it. Guys, you guys can be engaged. If you guys have any comments, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. If you guys have any questions, as we're going through our Q&A, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave your question that you would like to ask either Kevin or myself. And we're going to answer those questions to help you guys get to your goals. So one thing tonight, we're going to talk about the road to success and facing your challenges and your fears. So based on your personal life, how would you explain fear? How would you explain fear when it comes to your life? And how would you explain fear when it comes to business?
Well, for me, when it comes to fear, I mean, fear has two meanings to me, and you hear it a lot of times in the business world. Fear, like I said, has two meanings. It's either you can face everything and rise, or you can face everything and run. If you spell out fear, F-E-A-R, face everything and rise, or face everything and run. And
did you create that?
No, I did not create that. But
yeah, I heard that fear, right?
But like I said, I've seen that, I've read it, and basically, if you look at that statement, face everything and rise, or either face everything and run, it all revolves around choices and decisions.
Right. When
you're faced with adversity in life and business, regardless of whatever it is, I mean, you have a choice and decision to make at that point in time. Either you're going to allow whatever circumstance or situation that you have found yourself in at that moment in time, either you're going to choose to stay in that situation,
right,
or you're going to, make a choice and decision, how do I get beyond this point? How do I get from here to there? And then from there to there. So, I mean, it's all revolves around choices and decisions. And one thing you got to understand, I have a, some people, in life, some people, they don't take me wrong with what I'm getting ready to say.
Don't take it wrong. You see, he's trying to be careful with
don't
the
take
words.
me wrong when I get what I'm getting ready to say. But I mean, I have a strong faith, and I have a, I try to, I have a strong spiritual background. So my thing is one thing that empowers me and strengthens me is the word declares He has not given us a spirit of fear, but of sound, but of power, love, and of sound mind.
Okay.
And what we have to understand when it says a sound mind means, you clarity, focus, You know what I'm saying? Determination will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my thing is, you know, you can't have fear, and fear can't, you know, you have to understand that you can't allow fear to occupy the same space as determination, will, drive. And if you allow fear to occupy that same space with your determination, your focus, your will, your persistence, you know what I'm saying, your dedication, you know, and if you allow it to stick around long enough, then it's going to basically, you know what I'm saying, it's going to start to overtake those other things. You know what I'm saying? So you have to constantly, every day, every moment, every second, you have to, you know, confront whatever fears that you may have, whether it be in life or in business or whatever. Because what you have to understand with time waits or waits for no one.
Right.
And so, you know, you have to treat every second of every day like it might be your, might be your last, or it may be, if you don't, you know, do this at this moment in time or this day, you know what I'm saying, you may not have the opportunity to do it. You know what I'm saying?
You get that all the time, right? Like, I mean, from Oprah Winfrey to, I mean, countless amounts of people who have said that, right? Like, when that opportunity arrives, you can't wait, because that may be that one opportunity that will never return again. Why do you feel that people, like, after hearing it and hearing it and hearing
Right.
it, why do people not react?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, but, you know, I'm going to tell you one thing that kind of woke me up one day after I kind of went through, you know, a few things business-wise. I was kind of listening to a webinar, and one of the things that kind of hit me hard was, and I shared this with a youth group at our church. We did this little exercise, and it was this. I may have my numbers wrong, but I think it's like 86,000 seconds in a day. In a day.
Okay.
So the exercise that I shared with them, I think it's like 86,000 or 88,000.
Go ahead.
I think it's either 86 or 88,000 seconds in a day.
Okay.
But
somebody on there Googling it right now.
But my point is the exercise that I did with them, and the exercise that was taking place in this webinar, it was like this. The gentleman said, if someone deposited, I'm just going to stay with 86,000 because I don't have time to Google it right now. But the gentleman on the webinar, he said, if someone deposited $86,000 into your banking account every day, okay, but the catch to that money being deposited into your banking account is this: you had to use it up that day.
All 86,000.
Yeah, what you did not use does not carry over to the next day.
Okay.
And what you don't use, you lose.
Okay. So
the point is with the exercise, and when I shared it with the youth group at church, was that $86,000. I may be wrong with that number. You guys can Google it and share it with us and correct us. You know, if I'm wrong.
Is it in the comment section yet? Someone left a comment on it yet?
But anyway, the thing about it is that's 86,000 seconds in every day. So you have to look at your life in that way. You know what I'm saying? What you don't use, you lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so what that basically is saying is that's how valuable your time is. And like I said it, just a few minutes ago. Time waits or waits for no one. And you have to look at your life like that. Okay, look at where you're at, and then look at where you're trying to go. And just like the alphabet goes from A to Z, you know what I'm saying? When you're trying to accomplish something or you got goals that you want to achieve, you have to look at, okay, what are the steps within the process? Sometimes some people want to go directly to from A to Z, but you have to understand is that if you try to go from A to Z in one step, you're gonna miss some points in between,
right?
And you're gonna miss some things that you should have learned, or you're gonna miss some experiences. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to, when you look at your life, regardless whether it be business or just life in general. If you have a desire to get to a certain place and position in life, and you look at where you're at, but also look at where you're trying to go,
right? And
then map out the steps in between to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get to that destination or you know, or whatever you're trying to achieve, you know what I'm saying, when you get to there, you're going to be able to pick up some valuable stuff along the way that's going to make that destination more enjoyable, you know what I'm saying, more fulfilling.
Right, right.
And what you don't want to do is get to whatever destination is that you're trying to get to, whether it be in life or business, and you haven't picked up some of the most valuable experiences or lessons along the way. Because guess what? If you don't do that, when you get to that destination, if you don't have what you need when you get to that destination that's going to allow you to enjoy that destination, that place or whatever, guess what? You're going to have to go back and repeat that process over. And just like you said before, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be broke down on the side of the road. I said one time before, all roads lead somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All roads lead somewhere. But what you don't want to do is get on a road and you're not prepared to take that journey, or you're not prepared to arrive at your destination. And then if you're not prepared, you know what I'm saying, to take that journey or arrive at your destination, you find yourself broke down on whatever road that you're on. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then now you either got to wait for somebody to either come and assist you, pick you up, or, you know what I'm saying? You know, so you have to look at your life in that way. I mean, I know we kind of...
No, that makes sense. You know what? I was actually having a conversation with a gentleman, and he was saying about when you're taking a trip, you know, you should always over-prepare. You want to be over-prepared for that trip. I don't care if you're going to be gone for a day, 2 days, a week. You should always be over-prepared for that trip. Because if you value time, if you don't pack enough, guess what? When you arrive there, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be trying, oh, man, I didn't pack enough underwear. Oh, man, I forgot the toothpaste. Yep. Oh, man, I got to go get this. And now you're wasting time. And if you treat your life the exact same way, that you're preparing for everything, if it comes to business and you're over-prepared for that journey, then you save time going down that journey. And when you get to that point, you have mastered everything. So if you know, okay, I know I wear a size 34 in boxers. I know I wear extra large in socks. I know I wear extra large in shirts. I'm just using this as an analogy. The more I learn about what I'm doing, then my path and my future becomes easier because I'm mastering everything throughout my journey.
Right.
What would you say have been some fears before you have got to the point that you're at right now? If you look back in the past, what have been some fears that you have came across in real life and also in business?
Fears that I really have come across, man. I get, you know, my family tell me I'm a Leo. So, I mean, if most of you guys know about Leos, man, we pretty much, you know, head strong. We want to run stuff. We want to be in control, be in charge. And the thing with me is that, you know, even when it comes to my family, even in business, I don't necessarily want to be a dictator by no means. But my thing is, I want to be successful in whatever area, you know, whatever I put my hands to.
Right.
I want to be successful in it, whether it be, you know, being a father, husband, brother, son. I mean, and that's one thing that I say, you know, a lot of times. My focus and my goal in life is to be the best husband, best father, best son, best brother, best friend I can be, best business person I can be. Why
do you take that approach? Why do you say? I think that's important.
Well, and the thing about it is, the reason why I say that, if I focus my efforts, my attention, my drive, my intensity, my persistence, if I focus, you know what I'm saying, you know, in those areas, and everything that I hold up, you know what I'm saying, I think it's going to allow me to be those things, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the thing about it is, if you look at sometimes where you look at people, they may be you know, they be maybe mega successful in business, but then you look on the flip side of it, you know what I'm saying, they, you know, their marriage may be struggling, you know what I'm saying, they don't spend time with their kids, or just different things, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying, you know, we have to have, you know, in business, you have to have money, or even if you're working and you got a good job, you have to have money to be able to live, to be able to sustain in life, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, even with that, you have to find focus. You know what I'm saying? You have to have focus. You know what I'm saying? On the things that's most important. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, yeah, we all need money, and I'm not gonna say money is not everything, but you have to put priorities and put focus on the things that's most important.
So you're saying balance? Is that,
yeah, it's definitely balance. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, and when you ask me about some of the fears I face, you know what I'm saying? Some of the the fears I have faced, personally is choices and decisions that I have made that have not allowed me to be able to put priority on those things that I just said.
Right.
Being a good husband, being a good father, being a good son, good brother, good friend, good business person. And there have been times where there have been decisions that I've made that have, compromised those things, what I'm saying, in my life. You know what I'm saying? Have put stress on one thing versus another, or you not being able to do stuff how you feel like it should be done. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I saw, we went and saw Black Panther this weekend, and I'm not trying to make this a Black Panther segment, but in the movie, one of the things that he said to his son, he said that a man that does not prepare his kids for his own death has failed as a father. But
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
And I'm not saying death, but let's just flip it to life. You know what I'm saying? In the movie, he said that a man that has not prepared his kids for his own death has failed as a father. But let's flip that, though. Mm-hmm. A man that has not prepared his kids for life has failed. A man that has not prepared, you know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I'm the oldest of 3 boys, you know what I'm saying? So my thing, I feel like as an older brother, I feel like I should be able to be there for my brothers. I should be able to be there for my parents, you know what I'm saying? And I've actually kind of approached business-wise, that to be able, my prayer, my focus has been, God, allow me to get in a position where I can be able to help the people, you know what I'm saying? Not just help, I want to be, I generally want to help people, but let me be able to help the people that's closest and near and dearest to me, you know what I'm saying, if need be.
Right.
I used to be in Prime America years ago, and I heard this guy, Ivan Earl, say this one time, and he said that, his goal was, he wanted to be in a position where that if he had a situation or a problem that, and this may sound crazy, and some people may, not agree with it, but his thing is that his focus and goal was to be in a position where he didn't have a problem that money couldn't solve.
Okay.
And that may rub some people the wrong way, but if you let's just look at our life and our world today. If a loved one gets sick, you know what I'm saying, and has to go into the hospital and don't have adequate insurance.
Right. Who's going to cover that?
Who's going to cover it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you got something you want to do business wise, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, or you trying to take your company to the next level, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you got the money, you know what I'm saying, to put towards that, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? If you got kids getting ready to go to college, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and it's a choice between them going to one institution versus another. The thing about it is, and when he made that statement, it really did stick out to me because I'm like, wow, I never thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, that was his determination. That was his drive. You know what I'm saying? And by him having that focus and that determination, it created balance in every other aspect of his life. Because if a problem or need arose, he was already, he was proactive. You know what I'm saying? He was already in a position where he could
touch on that. Keep going.
He was already in a position where he could deal with it. So, like I said, my fears, that, I still even struggle with today. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? My fears is not being in a position to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And one thing, if I can tell anyone out there that's watching, that's viewing this, confront your fears, face them. Because, I mean, if you don't deal with them, they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's going to be so big to a point that you ain't going to know how to tackle that particular situation.
Let me jump in because that's a great point, and you will be amazed how the government can condition your mind. I can recall when I was in the military and I was in dive school, and I think one of the things that they made you do is face your fears. Like you got there, no matter how much time you spent on YouTube, how much time you spend on Google, like, let me see what this school is about, let me see what type of training they're doing. But when you're actually there, the things that you can't find online, like, it's amazing to the point where you like, I never thought I would be climbing a rope that's like 50 feet high, you know, and then coming down just with my hands. Like, but as you start to do it like 3 times a week, then you lose. If you ever had a thought of fear of height, like it's gone.
Right.
Like it's gone, and you don't even know it's gone
right.
until like you leave the military and you somewhere in like a building that's like 100 floors, and like, oh wow, that's a beautiful view. But if you think back when you was a child, like I hated
right.
being up, even in a tree.
Right.
You know, but it creates that loss of fear with everything, with drowning. Like they teach you like drown proofing, but you don't realize it until you in a situation like, you know what, I don't even have a fear of that.
Right. Right.
So I think that's a great point that you said, because if you face your challenges and you face your fears, then it impacts every other aspect of your life. If you feel in the military, they say, oh, you'll be going all these nights without any sleep. You're like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. But when you're doing it and you moving and you're still executing on like training that you're doing, now when you're in a real life scenario, like when someone said, hey, we got to stay up for 20 hours or we got to do an overnighter. In your mind, you're thinking, you know what? I've done this 10 times over. Yeah. So it's not a fear for me. It's not a challenge for me. So I definitely agree that when you start to face your fears in life, it impacts every other aspect of your life. And it helps to create a culture for the people around you, too. Because people may see that, wow, you know what? If he is able to do it, I know I can do it. This is a man. This man breathes the same air I breathe. He believes the same way I believe. And if you take that approach, and when you see someone that you look up to that's successful, if they could do it, you could do it.
And the thing is, you know, I look at it like this right here, you know, in today's time, in today's society, I know, you know, I mean, I live, I work, you know, so I know I kind of experience some of the same things that you guys experience. But my point is, right now, today, there's no reason that anyone cannot succeed. There's no reason. And, you know, I read a lot, and I read a lot. I mean, my wife would tell you that I got like 3 6-foot-high bookshelves that's full of books. I mean, I read a lot. But the thing about it is, I'm going to say this. When it comes to wherever you're at in your life right now, you can change it. You can face your challenges. You can face your fears. You can. You just have to consciously make a choice and a decision that I'm no longer going to be here.
But
I'm no longer going to stay here. But the thing about it is, what you have to also understand, too, is that if you don't make a choice to face your fears and to face your challenges, you're still making a choice. Because you're making a choice to stay in whatever circumstance or situation that you're in, whether it be personal, business, I don't care what it is. You know, to not make a choice is still making a choice. So in today's time, in this life that we're living right now, there's no excuse that you can't be successful. I mean, the thing about it is that there's a wealth of information, resources, tools. I mean, even with you yourself, I mean, we're sitting here, we're doing this tonight, you know what I'm saying? But you have been very instrumental in me, you know what I'm saying, facing some of my fears and my challenges by, you know, some of the stuff you helped me with, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just like I made a conscious effort and decision, you know what I'm saying, to reach out, you know what I'm saying, to get help in a specific area that's going to catapult me to the next level, you know what I'm saying? You know,
whoever, he has catapulted.
Whoever is out there that's viewing this, you know what I'm saying, you can do the same thing. I mean, yeah, it may cost you some time. Yeah, it may cost you some money. But one thing that I've learned when it comes to paying for information or paying for someone else's knowledge. You get what you pay for.
Right.
You get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing about it is, what you have to understand is that if you have to pay someone, you know what I'm saying, for their knowledge because, you know, they have reached a level of success or they have overcame some of their challenges and fears, you know, do it. You know what I'm saying? Do it. You know what I'm saying? If it causes you have to work 2 hours or extra a week or 3 hours extra overtime a week, do it. I promise you, you will not regret it. You'll look at your life a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and you will be thankful that you made that decision, you know what I'm saying, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, because, you know what I'm saying, when you can look back over your life and you can see the leap, you know, how you've made leaps and bounds, you know what I'm saying, towards, you know what I'm saying, you know, where you want to be in life, I mean, you won't regret it. Your kids won't regret it. Your husband won't regret it. Your wife won't regret it. Your friends won't regret it.
Right.
I mean, the people that you have in your circle would not regret it because guess what? I mean, you know, when you got, you know, 3, 4, 5 like-minded people, you know what I'm saying? People that's, you know, you may not be, you know, moving towards the same goal, but you're actually moving in the same direction. When you got, you know, 3, 4, 5 people that's moving in the same direction, desiring the same things, you know what I'm saying? Want to be there for one another and help one another, man, that's power within itself.
That's right.
That's power within itself. And what you have to understand even too is that, yeah, it ain't meant for you to take everybody with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant because, you know what I'm saying, some people say they want to go, some people say they want a better life, they want to do better, but they're not willing to face them challenges and face them fears of doing better and being better. And so, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, you just leave people by the wayside or anything like that. But when it comes, if you got a specific place that you're trying to get in life and business, you got to have people, you got to surround yourself with people that's going to encourage you, empower you, push you, strengthen your will, strengthen your determination, strengthen your persistence, you know what I'm saying, your tenacity. You have to have people around you that's building that, you know what I'm saying, that's empowering you to get to where you're trying to get in life. And if you have people around you that's not going to do that, I mean, I know it's cut and dry, and you be like, well, he shouldn't be so that, you know, direct. Cool. You know, he shouldn't be that direct. But you got to cut him. You got to cut the dead weight. I mean, there's a parable in the Bible where, and I'm not trying to go, there's a parable in the Bible where there was a man, you know, with the fig tree. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The fig tree hadn't produced any fruit. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he came back and, you know, basically asked, you know, and basically said, I'm going to come back if the tree hasn't produced any fruit, then he was going to cut it down. And so sometimes you have to look at stuff like that. If you got people in your circle that's not producing anything towards your life, that's not encouraging you, you know, pushing you to be better, to do better, then I hate to say it, cut the dead weight. I mean, because, I mean, like I said, time waits or waits for no one. And, I mean, what you have to understand is with time is the most valuable resource that we have. It's more valuable than diamonds, platinum. It's more valuable than any commodity that we know of. Because with time, like I said, it wastes for no one, and nothing can be created without time. Nothing.
Elaborate on that, because you're going kind of deep, and I want people to truly understand what you mean by that.
Nothing can be created without time. I mean, so, I mean, if you look at, you know what I'm saying, if you look at some of the most successful people in this world, if you look at, you know, one of the people that I follow is like Elon Musk and Grant Cardone. I follow those guys, and if you look at Elon Musk, you know, most people are familiar with Elon Musk due to Tesla, and then now he got SpaceX. But if you look at you know, Google and research him. If you look at, you know what I'm saying, he was one of the founders of PayPal. And we all use PayPal, you know, whether if you're on eBay or whatever the case may be. He was one of the founders of PayPal. But you look at, you know, kind of where he started, you look at where he's at now, and you look at, even with the SpaceX, you know, he just had a launch like 2 weeks ago where he launched one of his Tesla Roadsters. You know, he's actually, I guess he got it en route to Mars. But if you look at, you know, some of the first launches that he started, you know what I'm saying, he failed. You know what I'm saying? Rockets blew up before they even took off. You know what I'm saying? They blew up in orbit. You know what I'm saying? in mid-orbit. But you look at this last, launch. I mean, not only did the rocket make it into orbit, but the two boosters that propel the rocket into orbit, they came back and landed here in sequence. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So therefore they could be reused.
Right.
So, but my point is that without time, he wouldn't have been able to perfect that process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To perfect it in a way that he could be successful. Without time, he couldn't have done what he needed to do, so therefore he could be successful in that particular endeavor. So, like I said, without time, nothing can be created. I mean, so, and you have to look at your life, whether it be business, personal, put it on a timeline. If you got a specific goal, if you want to lose 30 pounds, if you want to lose 50 pounds, or if you want to read a book, or if you're trying to, like I said with you, if you're trying, if you want to improve your overall personal situation, put it on a timeline. I mean, and engage, look at where you're at, look at where you're trying to go, and put it on a timeline. By this specific date or this specific time, I want to be here. And that allows you to be able to measure and gauge your time to make sure that you're using your time effectively. You know what I'm saying?
What does that sound like? So,
but
that's important too, because one of the things in the organization I'm involved in is we study time, and
okay.
on that factor of time, even in a 24-hour window, there's certain parts of it. But if you start to master it, the more you start to master where you focus your time and your energy at, the universe starts to streamline itself right behind you.
And like as you know, I mean, I have a venture called Tempo. And with Tempo, the overall goal with that, how I came up with that, I was kind of in a place of coming out of some bad decisions business-wise. Having to face some fears and some challenges, looking at where I'm at and where I want to go, where I had a desire to go, because, it wasn't just me. Now I have 2 kids, I have a house, you got, wife, you got, obligations and responsibilities. I'm looking at, okay, this is where I'm at after having some, making some good moves and, having some good success. But then there again, you got people around you that, okay, when the money's good, everything is flowing, everybody, on board. But then when it comes time to, get down there and get in the trenches and
really work
and put in the work, then everybody runs. So then now you sitting here looking around, you don't have nobody with you but yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, coming off of some bad decisions, putting trust and faith in people, with me personally.
No, you call it a bad decision before the occurrences happen. Did you have someone there to give you their life experiences and say, hey, you know what? As you're going and progressing down this road, be wary of these type of things that could possibly hold you up?
At that time, no. I didn't. I didn't have that. But like I said, through experiences, fears, challenges, it has taught me. And I'm saying, I have a guy that an older gentleman that I do bounce a lot of stuff off of. Now he call it ping. He call it ping pong. He said, man, he called me by my last name, Smith. He said, man, Smith will play ping pong. And all it is, if you know ping pong table, you basically take a ball and hit it back and forth. And so that's basically what we do. We have dialogue, conversation. I may, call him up and be like, hey, kind of this is what I'm thinking, or this is what I'm dealing with. And then, hey, he hit the ball back to me and give me his opinion or what he may feel like I should do or how I should approach it. And then, and we go back and forth. And that has really helped, center me, ground me, focus me, that so therefore the mistakes that I made previously, that I won't repeat them again.
Right.
And like I was mentioning about even with tempo and timing, everything is surrounded by, everything operates within time. I mean, you look at the seasons. You know what I'm saying? You got spring, summer, fall, winter. I mean, it's on a continuous.
Yeah.
I mean, time, cycle time. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the sun, the sun comes up, it sets. The moon comes up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at, but what you have to look at, even if as you're moving forward in life and business, you have to discover your timing. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, once you can discover the timing of how you move and how you execute, man, it makes things so much easier and so much simpler for you. Because the thing about it is, when people hit roadblocks and they hit stumbling blocks, guess what they've done? They've gotten out of their timing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They've gotten out of their sequence of how they move. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you know what your timing is and you're moving within that, man, it makes, and this can be applied to anything. I mean, life, business, don't matter what it is.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
so
that's staying in your light. When you're in your light, when you are in your light, and you stay out of those dark shadows in your life, you will be amazed the way those blessings always just continue to flow into that light.
Oh yeah.
When you stay in your light, and sometimes we know in our mind, like, you know what, this is not the best thing, because everything is based on intent too. Intent and timing. So if you do things with the right intent, and that timing is where you should be in your life, then everything always just seems to just flow perfectly. Everyone has challenges in life. Everyone has challenges. Things come up, problem, solution. You come up with a solution, you take that approach in your life. Every time something comes up that does not agree with my path, I need to create a solution for it. Every time. And you just start to master your own life. You master your own life. It's like you was on that ship and you at the helm and the seas get rough and you learn how to steer through rough waves. The more you do it, the more it becomes easier. That's why they call master helmsmen.
Yeah.
Because they have mastered steering through rough seas. They are a master helmsman. They know how to stay on course. No matter how the seas are, no matter what direction, they understand how to read the sun and where it's at during that time of day, based on as it's rising and falling. They understand, and they have become a master helmsman.
Right.
So if you treat your life that way, if you start to master everything in your life, when a problem comes up, if you approach it with the right intent and saying, no, it's not a problem, it's just something that came up that I did not expect or I did not want in my life, but what do I need to do? I need to come up with a solution. Right. And once I resolve that, then I know how to handle that anytime going forward. Problem, solution. Stay in your life, approach life with the right intent. I do got a question before we end up. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? So if you was able to go back into a time machine, so say you see yourself right now at a certain point in your life, 5 years from now, and you say, you know what, based on where I'm at right now, if I was able to hop in a time machine and go back 10 years to 2008, what would I change?
If I could go back 10 years to 2008, what I would change is some of the choices and decisions that I've made. There again, I mean, everything in life, business revolves around a choice or a decision. I would ultimately change some of the choices and decisions that I made. I would make sure within my circle of people, whether it be friends, business associates, counterparts, I would make sure that I have people within my circle that's always going to keep me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Keep me true, keep me dedicated to the drive. You know what I'm saying? To becoming the best version of myself. You know what I'm saying? That, and the thing about it is, that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Every new day that we get on this earth, that's an opportunity for us to become a better version of ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would do, honestly, because some of the mistakes and challenges and fears that I've faced and that I've went through have all revolved around choices and decisions. So if I could go back 10 years, I would change some of the choices and decisions that I made, which, put me in a position of compromise. You know what I'm saying? But on the
Do you think that some of those choices that you made, if you could think back that far, do you think that you went into those choices with the right intent?
um, any choice and decision I've ever made, my intent has always been right. But my intent has always been right, but execution.
Ooh, I know y'all hear that a lot. I always say that
Execution. Because you got to understand any choice and decision that you do make, especially if you're trying to go in the right direction. It's one thing to make the choice or the decision, but it's another thing to execute that choice and decision out completely.
Right.
And see, that's the difference between people. If you look at people's lives or you parallel people's lives and you wonder why they're here and you're there, or how they got here and how they got this or how they got that, the difference in that is not only did they make a choice and decision, but their execution was so pivotal to that as well. Because it's one thing to make a choice and decision. I mean, you can make it if you know for a fact. You know what I'm saying? If you're going on 85 and if you're going to 85 and you want to, if you're going down 85 to go to Atlanta and you want to get off at Lenox Station, you want to go to Lenox Mall. You know what I'm saying? You got to get off get off to go down Highway 400. But if you don't make that, if you don't get off to go where you need to get to, which is execution, guess what? You're going to end up somewhere where you didn't have a desire to go or a desire to be. So you have to look at, choices and decisions the same way. It's one thing to make it, but it's another thing to execute it.
Right.
To make that move, that aligns with that choice and decision.
That's a good response. Execution, people. Anyone could, and that's how we started off this. Started off the session tonight was talking about having the knowledge. It's easy to get the knowledge. We could go on Google right now. All you guys, no matter what you're trying to do, whatever that you're trying to become, you're trying to become an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. Whatever your goals are, it's easy to get the knowledge. You could go to a seminar right now and spend $100-$200 just to get a book, and hear someone talk for an hour or 2 hours, and you hear it, and you're excited at that moment.
Right.
But if you don't execute on your goals, every step of the goals, then you'll be sitting around talking about, I did this 2 years ago. I did this 3 years ago. Where is it now? So, and I think that's one of the challenges that people face is they start something, and when it becomes difficult or complicated, and that's when they start to give up on themselves or doubt themselves, because that fear instinct start to kick in when things start getting hard.
Well, and to answer your second question, you asked me, where do I see myself in 5 years? If we look behind us, we got YMA Nation, Young Millionaires Association. In 5 years, that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Or sooner. Right. Because I'm saying the path that we're currently on, that definitely can happen sooner. But, my thing is, in 5 years from now, that is a goal and a desire of mine, but not to just do it just to do it. I want to be able to be in that position to help people to overcome, whatever challenges and fears that they have, which ultimately, and try to help them, kind of be able to have a better life. Because what you have to understand is that, if you got a family or whatever, man, when you go through something, they go through it. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I look at life this way. If God blesses me to get in a position where I can be of help to his people, then guess what? You know what I'm saying? It's helping them get balanced. It affects everything that they hold up. You know what I'm saying? It just don't affect them. It affects their wives. It affects their kids. You know what I'm saying? It affects everything that they hold up. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, that's my goal in life is God allowed me to be able to just get in a position where, not only everything that I hold up is taken care of, but let me have more than enough. Right. To be able to help other people. That's the true blessing. That's That's what it's really all about. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at, if you get to a place and position in life where you got a nice house, you got a nice car, you got nice clothes, you can vacation wherever you want to vacation, you got money in the bank. After you have achieved and acquired all those material things, then what's next? You know what I'm saying? What's next? You can't take it with you. So my thing is, what will last longer than a new car, a new house, is by you being able to help someone get in a position where they can change their life. That can transcend generations.
I think that's one of the reasons why I got into this business. I had all kind of ideas with the business. I could have spent more time focusing on the clothing brand and expanding that, but starting to perfect credit and knowing how many people can't progress through life because they're not in a situation where they need to be with credit. The more I learned about it, I was like, you know what? All these people trying to get, and I was doing funding too for businesses and doing business startups also. When I realized how many people can't even start their business because it's going to fall back on them as a personal guarantor in their credit, but they can't even chase their dreams because they have this number that someone is saying that, no, I can't approve you for this because of a number. So I think that's one reason why I'm passionate about like helping people with like building their credit, because like how you said, once you get to a certain point in your life, it's like, I got it. So what do I do from here? And being able to like continuously help people and see people, oh, they post online, they got their house and they happy, like that brings you joy.
Yep.
And the things that you do in life, the charity that you give out to others, like that carries on past the grave.
There's four things, and I know we're getting probably coming close to the end there, but there's four things. If you're listening, there's four things that I have learned and I do my best to live my life by. And it's four things. And you can take them, you can hashtag them, I don't care. But I promise you it works. The first one is obedience is better than sacrifice. Always. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Number two, how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. That's number two. Number three is you get what you give. You get what you give. And number four is a man with an experience is never at the liberty with a man with an argument. Experience is always the best teacher. And, we said it, earlier in this broadcast, when you're trying to better your life, and whatever, you're paying people for their experience and their knowledge. It's stuff that they've gone through, how they perfected a process.
Right.
And don't be afraid to make that investment into your life, because I promise you, it will make leaps and bounds in your life. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to apply it though. But my thing is, like I said, a man with an experience is never at the liberty with a man with an argument.
That's good that you said that, because you talked about Grant Cardone earlier, and he's having a seminar. And, I think the cheapest ticket is like $1,000.
Right.
And I think they sold out at 10,000 tickets. So just do the math. 10,000 people will pay $1,000 or more, or more to hear him talk. Just to hear that experience and that knowledge.
But listen, look at his story. If you look at Grant Cardone's story, man, he was broke. He was broke. He was facing adversity, life adversities, challenges, and fears. And what did he do? He tells you his testimony time and time again. What he do? He decided to face those challenges, face those fears, and face those adversities, and
come up with solutions.
Exactly. And look at where he's at now. People frown at people that's living a good life, but why frown at them? My thing, if they have consciously made a choice and decision that this is how I'm going to live my life, this is what I'm going to do to make sure my life goes this way. This is what I'm going to do to make sure my kids can go to whatever college they want to go to, especially if they can get into it. This is how I want my wife to live. This is how I want my wife to look. You know what I'm saying? If people have consciously made that decision that's how they want their life to go, we can't be mad at them.
And worked hard for it too. Right.
You can't be mad at them. And my thing is, we all have that same ability to to face our challenges, to face our fears, to make the choices and decisions that's going to allow us to be able to live the life that we desire to live. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, but you know, like I said, man, I mean, out there, man, face your challenges. I mean, and the thing about it is, what I did that helped me, you know, me personally, is I got me a journal. I wrote down my thoughts every day. You know, I put a time stamp on it. I put a date stamp on it. I wrote down my thoughts every day. Get you a whiteboard. You know, you can go to Walmart right now and get you a whiteboard for like $18. You know, and it's dry erase. You know what I'm saying? Go. You know, start. You know what I'm saying? Documenting and detailing where you are versus where you desire to be. And I promise you, as soon as if you be truthful with yourself, you know, and say, "Hey, self, this is where I'm at." If you be truthful with yourself and look yourself in the mirror and be like, "This is where I'm at," and start documenting where you're at versus where you want to go, I promise you will get there. I promise you will.
Do we have any questions? Okay, so we're going to get ready to wrap up. We appreciate everyone logging on. Definitely appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Smith. Yeah, so guys, the road to success, knowledge is power. No matter how you absorb it, how much information that you gather, you have to implement it. You have to execute on it. So gaining the knowledge is one thing, but being able to execute on it and move forward. And when those challenges and those fears arise, you got to push through it. We appreciate you guys logging on. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you like it. Make sure you drop in the comment, #YMA Nation.